then it would still be bad. But yeah, go figure. So let's see here. Start video. Sorry, I'm just sharing what I have here. Share. So I've been mining Bitcoin. Is anyone here? Dylan, you've probably been mining some coins, haven't you? You have, or you have ever? Or did you just try it out? Yeah, see, yeah, so that's the thing, right? So you probably also, basically today's class is going to be about forms of money. And it's not necessarily Bitcoin itself that's the most important thing that I'm going to talk about. I mean, the bigger thing I care about as an economist is talking about what money is in general. But since Bitcoin is the big thing out there, basically from today's class, I've been working on this lecture I started working on the lecture yesterday, and I kind of finalized it up today. When I started this lecture, I knew nothing about Bitcoin except that it was a cryptocurrency and that it was very Ponzi scheme-like. I guess I could say I'm more informed about what it is, but I think that my bias, and I think it's always important that I reveal to you what I think my bias is I still think it's kind of shady. And it seems shady to me. Now, I'm not stopping you from being a big believer in Bitcoin, but something seems suspect. So basically, I'm going to teach you what I have learned over the past 2 days about Bitcoin, but I'm going to preface that with my decades of knowledge. Well, it's not only a decade and a half, I don't think call it decades, but at least the 15 years of knowledge I have of, well, almost 20 years, of money in general and banking in general, and how we can kind of, how is Bitcoin, how does that align with our present day understanding of money and banking, and how is it different or revolutionary or distinct from that? And again, though, to do that, we need to know what Bitcoins are. And I think also, though, too, it's probably important that we kind of have an understanding that Bitcoins aren't the only important ones out there. So let's start with our base knowledge of what do we think it is. I guess we'll go from there. So Dylan, do you want to, even just your very basic understanding, you want to tell me what you think it is? Yeah, Bitcoins in general, or cryptocurrencies.
In terms of what they are?
Yeah, what they are, how do we make them, like what is?
They're mostly just like fiat. But I don't know, a lot of people have been talking about like blockchain, where it's based on decrypting algorithms and solving problems.
Exactly, so let's go with that first, right? The idea that the way what is a Bitcoin? It's a digital currency. Now, there's nothing wrong with currency being digital. It's not. Why do we use paper money? I mean, right? If you want to say digital is that the Bitcoin has no value because it's digital, it's the same thing as saying that paper money is not valuable because it's written on paper, right? I mean, right? You could be like, you know, your crazy uncle at home who's got like gold coins right under his bed because he doesn't trust paper, right? I mean, all different people exist up there, right? I mean, I trust paper, dude. I'm not gonna hold gold coins in my bed. I mean, I trust that paper currency will have value. But notice the word I just used, trust, right? So it really depends a lot on where you place your trust, right? So if Ian doesn't like computers, right, he's probably not gonna trust Bitcoins at all, right? Just like your grandmother is not gonna have Bitcoins probably because she still has a Hotmail account, right? So she's not going to be getting a Bitcoin going, right? Now, of the people in the room, based on what little I know of each of you, right? Kind of picked on Dylan first because I would suspect, right? It's not that it's a tech-based, a digital currency that bothers you, essentially. Or are you bothered by it? No. Okay. So it's digital, but then the other part of what Dylan said was that it involves your computer, and more specifically your graphics processor. What does GPU stand for in graphics? Graphics processing unit. Basically, the thing in your computer that makes the screen do what it does, right?
I mean, I've seen someone get a Bitcoin, or not get a Bitcoin, but at least do the hashing rate by hand. So you can do it by hand really slowly.
Really? Wow. I hadn't heard that actually. So basically, here would be the idea, right? If you have like a gaming computer, you probably have a better GPU in your computer. This computer that I bought at Walmart has probably a very basic GPU in it. Okay, so what is the computer doing? I will be very generous when I say this. It's basically solving a pointless mathematical equation. It's not like solving cancer or finding aliens in space. Those are other things where we use something called distributed computing, where there's like this like gene that has to be, right? You can like go on the web and you can download programs where it says, we have this really, I know there's one for cancer, right? Where they say, we've got all these things, we just need computer horsepower, right? Computing horsepower, GPU doing its thing, to figure out how is this gene interacting with something else. So let's use everyone's computer and figure out how long did it take him? And he solved it? That's amazing. Yeah, okay. So my computer is really dumb then. So you can use what's called distributed computing for more noble purposes, solving cancer, finding aliens in space, whatever. But this is basically back in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. Back in 2008, this mysterious person.
Sense of the future.
Yeah, probably. No, it was. I think it was 2008. I didn't write down any notes about that. Anyway, I think it was about 2008. The guy named Satoshi Nakamoto, Japanese guy that no one really knows who he is. Anyway, he came up with basically the first cryptocurrency, which was the Bitcoin, the thing that we lump in, even though there's lots of cryptocurrencies out there. So Bitcoins are just one type of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies all have the general characteristics of being digital and of being one where there's a set amount of digital currency that exists, and your computer basically, again, runs through an algorithm to extract the money. As it solves these mathematical problems, you get more money. You're doing what's called mining for it, right? Which would be the equivalent of if gold was money, right? I'd have to dig in the ground to mine it and get it out. In this case, my computer is the digger in getting the value. It's not the first digital currency. I actually looked at what the first digital currency was. It was back during the dot-com boom, and apparently Whoopi Goldberg had something called the Flooz, F-L-O-O-Z, where you, I think you watched like commercials or web ads, and you got Flooz, like, you know, a digital currency called Flooz. Unfortunately, the company failed in the dot-com bust before anyone could use their Flooz. So this is, so after Flooz and a few other kind of failed currencies, we now have these cryptocurrencies where again they're solving the problem. What, do you have Flooz?
No, I found someone's credit card.
Oh shit. Wow, we got money. Let's go to town. I don't know Alyssa Phillips. Does anyone know Alyssa Phillips?
They're my good news of the day.
You did do alternate security at the end of the day. After I go to Regal Cinema, no. Although maybe Alyssa will come back.
It's out on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why is all this stuff coming? Well, right, but then you would track me down, right? And also, I'd be counteracting a good act with my shitty act. And, you know, I'd just be asking for problems. So these cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is the biggest one, but basically the algorithm serves no purpose other than the fact that each of our computers are then solving it. Let's look at the one I've been doing. So I started doing this today. I started my computer mining Bitcoins. It's kind of nice because I'm actually using
progress.
what?
Does it show you like the progress of it? Like
yeah, no, I can see how I'm doing. Let's see here. Once I get this going here. Yeah, I'm making progress. Now again, I'm not using. I'm using the school's electric, so not bad. Let's see.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so I am earning what are called Satoshis. Satoshis are the smallest units of Bitcoins. It takes 100 million Satoshis to equal a Bitcoin. At my current rate today, so I started this afternoon just because I had made my lecture and I was like, I wonder if I could try to do this. So today, I've been doing this since about 1 o'clock. Today, I have earned about 98 Satoshis, and I'm earning Satoshis at the rate of about 660, let's call it 660 a day. Which then, if I ran my computer for 365 days a year, earning the rate of, let's call it again, about 660 a day, I would have to run my computer for 403 years to earn a Bitcoin, at least according to my very simple math here. Approximately 403 years to earn a Bitcoin. Now, again, I'm using what, 3-year-old, 4-year-old computer. Oh, and this is the other annoying thing. So then I have to watch these stupid ads every. You think Hotels.com has cool ads until you see them every 10 minutes while you're doing this, right? Captain Obvious is pretty funny, but having to see him all the time is pretty annoying. And again, like you don't have to. You can have other mining programs that are more technical and don't show ads. Obviously, this is an ad-supported app that's running this. So we'll keep this running here, but basically my computer is using the electricity that you guys all pay for. So I am kind of being wasteful here, but basically my computer is trying to solve the problem of earning Satoshis. 100 million Satoshis equals a Bitcoin. For about $3,600.
Something like that.
What was it? $3,500. A year ago, January 25th, 2018, it was $11,000 a Bitcoin. 2 years ago, it was $924 a Bitcoin. 3 years ago, it was $378 a Bitcoin. So the big run-up was last year. If you're getting into Bitcoins now, like my lazy ass, I'm not going to be making any money off of this. At least if my computer had to run for 403 years, I could have at least had $11,000. Now, 403 years from now, I'll have $3,600, which after inflation will probably be like 2 cents. But I have another problem. There's another bigger problem why I can't wait for 403 years.
You're gonna die.
Oh yes, I'll be dead. Yeah, and my children will be dead, and their children will be dead. Yes, there'll be multiple generations
They'll carry on
of
your
Chinese
legacy.
dead. But also, and my computer will be broken by then, I would hope. No, all the Bitcoins will have been mined by then. So
Because they just set
it's
them
only a set amount. So that's the thing. There are two. So already before you like, dude, why would anyone do this shit? There are 3 reasons why you would do it. I'll put out my bias there. I think the big reason is, dude, I can't sell any no-doc mortgages anymore, so I'm going to get into this racket, which would mean that it's a scheme-ish kind of thing, right? Someone made this app and is making more money off of selling me these ads for 403 years than am I going to make, right? Than I'm going to make. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, I don't. I was stealing all my stuff on my computer, and I don't have anything interesting on my computer, so I guess at this point. Yeah, exactly. No, that'd be kind of exciting, right? Making new friends.
Sure.
So the one reason is it's a scam of some kind. Someone's making more money than me, the user, is going to make off of this. The other two reasons, though, are actually somewhat legitimate reasons about why you would do this. The one reason would be that you actually distrust centralized banking and centralized distribution of money. Economic theory would suggest that it's better to centralize, at least in a post-Keynesian era where John Maynard Keynes believes that, right, sound monetary policy leads to good economic results. But, you know, if we went 100 years in the past, you actually might think it was better to not have centralized banking. So the beauty of Bitcoin is each of the computers are all, right, it's distributed. Everyone's money is being tracked by this blockchain, this big, basically chain that is contains elements of each block of this algorithm, this solution here, and that's where all the that's where we know all the Bitcoins exist, or whatever your cryptocurrency is. So the one would be, you don't like centralized authorities, you hate the man, right? Because you think the man's oppressing you. The other side of it would be the idea of privacy and doing things more peer-to-peer. Right? I mean, obviously, I know if I use cash to do anything, I can still be found out how I'm doing things. Now, it's less likely than if I'm using credit cards, or like, what if I use Venmo or PayPal or right, or one of those others? Obviously, everyone's going to know what I buy. But dude, I don't buy that interesting of stuff, right? I mean, no one cares that. What did have I bought anything today? No, I haven't even bought anything today. But yesterday I bought 10 gallons of gas. So, right, that would be exciting for no one. All right, but I mean, but let's say I was buying interesting stuff, right? Let's say I was buying AK-47s, and I was buying OxyContin, and I was buying a whole bunch of, like, what were these called? Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 2. What? Is that what they were? Yeah, the big bad ones. Yeah, Schedule 1's like meth and all these cool things, right? Then, right? I mean, if you were the government, or even if you were a student, you were like, dude, this shining on meth, right? You could track me if I could use my credit card to do this. Which would mean if I wanted to buy meth and use it, I probably would want to use Bitcoins, right? Which then means, what kind of people are the ones that want these peer-to-peer currencies that subvert everything else, right? I'm not really sure. So in Davos this week, there are several sessions where global bankers and global business authorities are all talking about Bitcoin, because, as I told you, those values, it went from 11,000, now it's at 3,000. What was the number I wrote down today? Oh, $480 billion of value was erased last year, basically by Bitcoins falling from $11,000 to $3,500. $480 billion, so almost $500 billion of global wealth disappeared by Bitcoins being worth a third of their previous value.
So the higher the value of Bitcoin, the better for the world's economy?
No, not necessarily. No, I mean, really, essentially, if you were lucky enough to own Bitcoins, you lost a third of your value. But
you still have $3,000.
Still $3,000. But now we could also then talk about who is it that owns Bitcoins, right? It's not, I don't know. Does anyone in here own any? I don't even know anyone. No, you can do whatever you want. No, how would they know? No one would know, and no one would know that you owned it. So, I mean, it's like the best of all worlds. So again, I have what I have 101 Satoshis right now.
How does Satoshi benefit from making Bitcoin?
He doesn't, and no one knows who he is, so
He
he's,
just disappeared.
well, some people say he doesn't exist. I mean, that's like a whole thing, right? I mean, these cryptocurrencies, anyone can start one. So in fact, so that is, okay, let me make sure here. Oh, my computer's gonna be so mad. It's both doing this and it's like, I mean, it can't be, right? I mean, Dylan, it can't be good for my computer, right? To both be doing a,
I think that's also what happens to lagging, so.
oh, you think it's slowing down my Satoshi mining? Or what do you think?
I think it's because you might have to slow down.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be good, right? I mean, I would suspect. So I want to make sure here.
But you can sell like Bitcoin cents and dollars, right? Like you can
Yeah.
sell a whole Bitcoin or whatever.
Yeah, and I can, so I can probably sell my Satoshis for something, but there's not very much value in them. That's the problem, is that there's not a lot.
You don't even know if it's some guy or.
Yeah, exactly. So is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Like everything is just by rumor.
yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So,
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin?
excellent question. Just making sure this is all working so that, hello? Hello? Ah, there we go. So, yeah, so Bitcoins, you then have Bitcoins, Bitcash, I think, adds up to Bitcoins. Satoshis add up to Bitcoins. So again, I need 100 million Satoshis to equal a Bitcoin. Or this guy on YouTube who just did it on his own. So let's go back to.
So is it solving one equation or is it solving an equation over and over?
So that's an interesting question too. So basically what it's doing is the only thing that the business leaders that are at Davos, what are they talking about that's valuable is this blockchain. So let's look at what I've actually never seen what a blockchain looks like. But the idea is that the blockchain, let's go back to Wikipedia here. So the blockchain, I'm hoping it'll show us an example of what one looks like here. The blockchain is the business value of a cryptocurrency because there is value in being able to have, instead of having things centrally stored, to have it distributed across multiple machines, because the idea then is that the data is more secure if it's held on lots and lots of computers rather than a single computer. So it basically, there's again our Satoshi Nakamoto. The biggest thing he does here is, again, developing this blockchain. But that basically, it looks like this main chain is this, right? But then parts of this are being stored on the purple parts. So that basically you distribute what previously you would store on a computer is just the black part. But what you do is you have each computer basically holding a part of the blockchain. And that each computer then basically has a part of the ledger. Basically, what are the debits and credits of what's going on? So what ends up happening is that each person, kind of get back to Cash's point, each person has a Bitcoin wallet or a wallet of some kind where they're storing their Bitcoin or whatever their cryptocurrency is. And that wallet basically doesn't sit in my pocket or anything like that. That basically then I log into my wallet, and it's not stored on my computer necessarily, it's stored on all of our computers. The fact that Shiting has one Bitcoin or whatever my cryptocurrency is. Obviously, businesses have a great deal of interest in this because it's basically impossible to break this blockchain. It's not like I mean, so the sad stories are is that when this came out in 2008, Bitcoins were really, really cheap. And so the nerds of the world all went in and like created Bitcoin and started mining things. And they mined like a whole bunch. And then a few years later, when it became more valuable, they can't remember their password to their Bitcoin wallet. So there was, my wife every night watches Big Bang Theory. I think there was an episode of Big Bang Theory where that nerdy one, that guy can't find his, I don't know.
Sheldon?
The one from New Jersey. I don't know which one that is. The one with glasses?
Oh.
Probably. That Leonard created an account, but he can't remember his password, and it was stored on like some like jump drive, and then he lost the jump drive, and now he can't get into the account. And then, right?
Yeah, well, you're screwed if you don't have it.
Well, exactly.
It's one and done.
So you're going to hire a company to try to figure out what your password was, but that place will, if they can do it, they'll take a commission, which is like a third of the value. Anyone know who the biggest owner of Bitcoins is at this moment?
Warren Buffett.
No, it's even cooler than that.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Who's cooler than Warren Buffett? Or at least sneakier and shadier?
Oh, shadier. Oh, the Pharmadouche.
No, it's actually, well, it's not as, it's right before the Pharma Bro. Right before the Pharma Bro were these twins that were really shady. Oh, no, but that would be really good. Ashley Olsen. You know what's cool about that is you wouldn't suspect them doing it, but you totally know they would. See, because then the other ones would be, what about like Paris Hilton, right? Or something like that. That would even be.
Zach and Cody.
Oh, yeah. Zach and Cody. You would never expect Zach and
See
Cody.
you tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, no. No, the Winklevoss twins. Remember them from Facebook, from the Social Network movie? Remember the ones that were, who didn't see the Social Network? Let me ask it that way. Or did everyone see the Social Network, or no one saw the Social Network?
The Facebook movie.
The Facebook movie.
I watched it.
Okay, well, basically the story is, of the Social Network, is that obviously Zuckerberg is the guy who invented Facebook, right? But the whole point of that movie, The Social Network, was maybe it wasn't Zuckerberg who invented it. It was these two douchebags from Harvard called the Winklevoss twins. These twins, identical twins, who, you know, they're, I say it as a guy who used to be in a frat, is, you know, basically these two typical frat guys who wanted to create a dating app that you had to use your harvard.edu email address so that you could basically hook up with Harvard chicks rather than having to deal with, like, you know, the tramps at Boston University or wherever else, right? So it would mean that you would only hook up then with, well, it was mainly men that were trying to hook up with girls from Harvard. And what used to exist, which now is the reason why it was called Facebook, would be, like in my first year of college in 1995, you had all these people who you didn't know, and you would obviously wouldn't get a yearbook until the end of the year. So they would publish this like book in the very beginning that would just have all of your ID pictures and all the names of the people. So that then you'd be like, oh yeah, who's that chick that sits next to me? All I know is her name is Karen, right? And so then, right, or Karen, and, you know, think of the last name, Lee, right? So now I gotta find, oh yeah, there's Karen Lee. Oh yeah, that's her. You know, right? I mean, that's how you used to do things, right? And then you find out, you'd be like, oh, creeper cell. Oh yeah, she lives in that room and that's her phone number. Facebook was the digitization of that creeper form, right? So now we're just taking creeper-ishness from a paper format to a digital format. I'm going somewhere with this, guys. So, so the idea is that the Winklevoss twins approached Zuckerberg and said, dude, we don't know how to code anything, but we want to create this website that will do this like hookup site. And Zuckerberg was like, yeah, I can totally do that. And then he was like, this is a really good idea. I'm gonna like create something called Facebook, right? And then the whole point of the movie is that the Winklevoss twins get really grumpy. They're like, dude, you stole our idea. And right, and then Zuckerberg's like, oh, I don't know what your idea was. I didn't take it. Right, and someone sues someone, and someone pays off someone. And right, that's the movie. But the Winklevoss twins got this huge payout from Zuckerberg, right? Because Zuckerberg won the court case, or they settled or something, right? And the Winklevoss twins who were really dumb got this big fat check. The Winklevoss twins' father was an actuary. So the Winklevoss twins have all this money. They live in Indonesia, and they do nothing but buy bitcoins. Lots and lots of bitcoins. How much bitcoins did they buy?
So they bought this in the beginning,
Eh,
or when it wasn't like 11 grand.
they bought it before it was 11 grand, but they didn't buy it when it was like a lot cheaper. I don't even know how you spell Winklevoss. There's probably an N in there. Winklevoss? I don't know how you spell it.
Oh, we bought it
How much do they have? Well, someone stole from them, they're saying. Why are they always in the news? Let's see how much they have here. I'm sure these are the twins. What is Cameron? I mean, these basically look like frat guys. If you've never seen what a frat guy looks like, these are your typical frat guys. It's useful to know what they are and who they look like. So how much do they have? Does it say how many they have? Doesn't say how much they have, but they have a lot. They're the huge owners of Bitcoins, but they're losing all their money now because of that. So I'm sure they'll sue someone. I'm sure they'll sue someone for it. So going back to these Bitcoins, the blockchain technology is the most important thing. As we saw on the other screen with all the blocks, companies now want to develop products that allow normal businesses to use this blockchain technology to basically distribute everything rather than storing things in the cloud or storing things on a physical server, but stored on everyone's computer, all the parts of this. Such that when I taught this, the last time I gave a Bitcoin lecture, let's see, Dylan, you were there. Cash, I don't think you were in that lecture. Nick, were you in that lecture? You were in that lecture, weren't you? The Bitcoin lecture for analyzing economic data. You were there, yeah, you were there. When I delivered that lecture, God, that's almost now 2 years ago, almost. Remember there was a company called like Blockchain Long Island Iced Tea or something, or Blockchain Iced Tea. So the idea was that all these businesses now wanted to insert the word blockchain either into their business plan, their name, whatever it was, because they wanted the stock bump that would show, hey, we're a tech-forward company that's now using blockchain technology. It turns out that that's probably going to be the only useful thing that comes out of Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies at all, is what a blockchain is. And that probably is going to be Satoshi's probably only lasting legacy is developing that blockchain idea of storing something and distributing what the elements are in a secure fashion over multiple computers. That's really going to be the lasting legacy, probably, of Satoshi, such that list of cryptocurrencies. The biggest ones right now are Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the one that starts with a T, like Tether, I think, is the big threes. Here it is. So the Wikipedia entry is actually very good for this because we can actually get a good idea of what this looks like. So and it actually goes back to Cash's question as well. If you don't have a Bitcoin, there's Bitcoin Cash, which is a smaller element of a Bitcoin. So again, I am mining right now Bitcoins. Well, I'm mining a Bitcoin and I'm earning Satoshis. Otherwise, I'd only get paid out after 403 years. So I have to have a little something, right, to show some value for my time. But Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Tether, which I don't think they're listing on this, but those are the big three. And these are their market caps. So what is the market valuing each of these currencies at? Bitcoins are, again, obviously the biggest. I mean, there are, on average, 1,800 Bitcoins mined on an average day. At this point, what's happening here is that every time I solve a block, I earn a certain number of Bitcoins. So that's the idea, right? Is that there's this huge mathematical problem. Every time my computer solves a small part of that, a block of that big mathematical problem, I earn a certain number of Bitcoins for solving that small part of this bigger mathematical problem. But Satoshi had a really good idea. I got to give him credit for that. Is that he created every 4 years is an era, starting in 2008. So every 4 years, so we're approaching the next era in 2020. Every 4 years, the number of Bitcoins your computer earns for solving a block is cut in half. So right now, if I'm not mistaken, right now people are earning, I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, everyone right now is earning 12.5 Bitcoins for every mathematical block they solve. In 2020, it's going to become 6.25. So every 4 years, your reward for solving a problem is reduced. But what that means, again, is in 2140, the last Bitcoin will be mined and there will be no more money. But here's the whole thing. Some people really like them Bitcoin because the idea is we know exactly how many Bitcoins are out there. There are 21 million. I think I'm correct here. There are 21 million Bitcoins and it's exactly predictable. Now, the reason why that would be nice would be, what if I looked at something like this? Let's make that less happy. Well, let's see where I'm at. Let's go. See, ads for personal injury lawyers, best stocks to invest in, fresh pet. Can't be good. Does anyone know what does anyone want to try to predict what I'm going to show you? What do you think I would show you? So I just said 21. Who's going to be attracted to this? 21 million Bitcoins exist. someone's obviously going to be pretty excited about that. Why would investors care? Because what would their concern be? So you're not incorrect so far.
I don't know.
If you were an investor, what is, in terms of the central bank, what the Federal Reserve does, what would the big concern be of anyone who invests? What would be their concern about what the central bank will do?
Crash.
How would they crash the economy? How? You're not wrong so far. You're still on a somewhat correct path.
There's no more money in the bank.
Nope, it's exactly the opposite problem. That what?
You're gonna create more money.
Exactly, you're going to print way too much.
Oh,
So the easiest thing the Federal Reserve does whenever there's an economic problem is they print a lot of cash. It's the Keynesian response is print a lot of cash to basically buy your way out of a problem. Because if the economy is not doing well, like it was in 2008, what you do is you print a bunch of cash, you make interest rates zero, and then people go buy cars because the interest rate is zero. Or people go buy houses because the interest rate is, very, very low. People buy stuff when the interest rate is really, really low, and people don't save money because there's not a lot of reward for saving money. Central banks are run by people who are just trying to get reelected, renominated to be the Federal Reserve chairman or chairwoman. So whenever there's an economic problem, they're just trying to get through today's problem. They're not worried about what's going to happen 15, 20, 30 years from now because they're going to be dead. So they don't care. So they're going to, right? So the response to the 2008 financial crisis was print a lot of cash, put the interest rate at zero. But what does that cause as a problem, or theoretically should cause as a problem?
Inflation.
Exactly, inflation. And yet, surprisingly, we have not seen it that much. The whole exact point of Bitcoin is that you don't have inflation. I mean, you do, but it increases at a predictable rate because the money supply is increasing at a predictable rate. Right. The other side of this would be the balance sheet for the Federal Reserve, which I'm just going to pick a picture here. It's going to be kind of old. So see how the colors start to increase significantly at these points? That's what the balance sheet looks like for the Federal Reserve after the 2008 crisis, which means that, quickly looking at this, we increased during the Bernanke administration and during the Yellen administration, we basically increased the money supply by a factor of 8. So there's now 8 times more cash out there than there was 10 years ago or 15 years ago, which means if there's 8 times more cash out there, that means that your money is now worth less than it used to be because it's not as scarce, right? Because there's 8 times more money out there. That can't happen with Bitcoins. I mean, inflation is my biggest concern as a person who is living and has to save for both myself going to retire at some point, right? Or have to save for kids that have to do their thing. I can't control inflation. Inflation is outside of my control. All I can try to do is either buy financial products that insure me against inflation, yet we know with any financial product that I buy, any insurance I buy, I'm basically paying someone else to take on the risk, which, do you see how I can get screwed? Because if I bought that insurance product 10 years ago to insure myself against inflation, I've lost out on that bet because there was no inflation. The problem with inflation is, that could be a good word today, is its capriciousness, meaning it's randomness of who gets the rewards and who fails from inflation. I don't know what the inflation rate is going to be. If you'd asked me 5 years ago what the inflation rate was going to be, I would have predicted it would be much higher than it is actually today. And I'm not like a shitty economist. I'm not the best economist, but I can hold my own weight, and I got it wrong. And really, 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 really smart economists got it wrong too. So I'm not alone. So I don't have to worry about that with Bitcoin. I know what the inflation rate's gonna be. No. So last Bitcoin is gonna be mined in 2140. Then the question would be, is who's gonna make money after 2140 when there's no more Bitcoins to be mined? Apparently, all the money to be made is on the transaction fees. The transaction fees of, like me, owning a Bitcoin and then transferring the ownership to someone else, right? So like, it's just like, you know, when you use your credit card to make a payment and there's like a 2.5% transaction fee for using your credit card. Well, there's a transaction fee for using a Bitcoin. It ends up being approximately, for an average Bitcoin transaction, you would have to pay 33,900 Satoshis, which, what is this? Yeah, so it's approximately $2, basically. Approximately $2 that you'll get per Bitcoin in transaction fees. So apparently that's how people will make money, is by owning Bitcoin. And then when you own a Bitcoin, you can collect all the transaction fees. Seems like a pretty shady kind of business. So here's the question then, again. Is Bitcoin money? I mean, that's the question. Is it money? Should we think of this as money? What do you think? I mean, you kind of know what I think, but do you think it's money? And I guess to do that, we need to know how does an economist understand what money is?
Aren't there certain what you call requirements, like 4 or 5 of them?
Mm-hmm. There is. Do you remember any of them from that class? But at least you remembered that there were some requirements. I'll be happy with
I think
that.
one is does it have to be physical?
No,
Has to be back forever or something.
no, not necessarily. No.
Exchange.
Need of exchange,
So coconuts.
store value, and unit of accounts. So let's talk about these 3 characteristics.
One of my classes asked me if I thought it was money. Probably gonna get it wrong.
So anything that's money for an economist has to fulfill these 3 characteristics. So let me review for us again what these 3 characteristics are. Then we can talk about the kinds of money that exist. So there are 3 types of money that exist in the world. There are 3 categories of money. So what money must do? What did you say? When?
What would be sort of a representative?
Yeah, where'd you learn that, dude?
You?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 types of money that we have that exist. The oldest kind of money we have out there is the commodity money, meaning that it's a physical product, right? So this would be the classic
Life.
shells as money, right? Because the shell has some inherent value, right? Or a gold standard, right? Because the gold is the valuable thing. So that would mean having a coin actually made of gold and that gold coin being in your pocket. Or a silver, right? A silver coin and the silver being in your pocket. It's a pretty easy thing to understand because the thing you're using actually has the value. The problem with the physical product or the commodity type of money is that there's only so much that's out there, and it changes in value somewhat randomly. Because right, the classic examples would be something like, what if when we used to have a gold standard here in the United States, they would discover gold in Alaska, and there'd be huge inflation because all of a sudden there's all this gold out there, or a boat would sink and we'd enter a recession because all of a sudden all this money disappeared at the bottom of the ocean. So it was very uncontrollable what the money supply was because it all depended on what ship sank and what mine was discovered. The other problem with a commodity money, especially in the Keynesian era, is right that you can't fix a recession then by printing more cash because what you have is what you have. So commodity monies, there is no country out there today that has a gold standard or silver standard or anything like that. There's no country out there today. No country, not even like the North Koreans. No one has a commodity-based currency. Everyone has either this or this. So let's talk about what these two kinds are. So there are some countries out there that have a representative currency, a representative money. The money itself would be like, let's say, a paper dollar bill, but that paper dollar bill can be exchanged for something else that has some inherent value. There's not really any currencies out there today where the money can be exchanged for gold. But back in the United States, back in the 1930s, the money looked different in the United States, and it actually said you can turn this in at a bank anytime, and they have to give you gold for it, which is kind of convenient, right? Because then you don't have like gold slinging around in your pocket. You just have paper that can always be turned in for gold. So there, you don't have to trust the U.S. government. You just know, hey, dude, this can always be turned in for gold. So in the 1930s, that changes and no longer can it be used for gold. And in the 1970s, on a global basis, you could still turn in dollars for gold at a central bank, but even that ended. The only way we have a representative currency would be, the French. The French have lots of colonies in Africa, and these colonies have what's called a CFA, which is like a, basically, it's not a euro, but it's something that represents a euro. And that euro then would be the thing that has the inherent value. So it's not like I like Cameroon, Cameroon being a former French colony. I might really, really distrust Cameroonians and their currency, but the currency is based off of, has value in the euro that, right, that France is a part of. So that's then representing something else. Here in the United States, and even the euro itself, we have basically fiat currencies, which have their value only because the government says it has value. So that would be the line on your dollar bill that says this note is legal tender for all that's public and private. That single line on your dollar bill is what gives it value, which would mean that that is why the other alternative example I would use would be, I have probably about like 2 or 3 million Mongolian turgid in my office right now. I go to Mongolia like every other year for about a month, and
What?
you get this Mongolian turgid, which is the currency, the fiat currency of Mongolia, which is legal tender for all debts, public and private, in Mongolia. Dude, it's not gonna be that useful to me here, right? No one's gonna want Mongolian turgid here. And I say that because what it means is that for fiat currency, I mean, we're all used to the US dollar, where the US dollar is useful all around the world because everyone wants US dollars. But imagine you're from Mongolia. Sucks to be from Mongolia and own Mongolian turgid because basically your fiat currency has no value outside of Mongolia. Yes, the US dollar has value outside of the US, but it's only because we're used to living in a country that issues the most powerful fiat currency in the world. the Chinese have been trying for a very long time to get the yuan or the renminbi, which is another name for it. They've been trying to get the yuan to be just as worldwide accepted. It hasn't really worked out that well. The euro has actually been a pretty successful example of creating a new world-dominating fiat currency. What are blockchains going to try to do? Basically try to get another fiat currency, except not with the government, but the government basically allowing other currencies to exist. There's nothing stopping me as a business from saying, I only accept euros. There's no law that says I really have to take dollars. If I'm a private business,
I thought there is a law that's.
not really. I mean, I could just insist on. I mean, I could. There is no law that says I, as a business, have to do it that way. That I have to take dollars. I mean, I can basically do what I want. It's just like a business saying I don't take pennies. I mean, yeah, technically you could probably say you have to take pennies, but well, I have to. I mean, I could just say I take euros. Don't do business with me if you don't want to pay me in euros. It's probably harder for a state entity like, let's say, Hawaii to say we only accept Bitcoins, we don't accept US dollars. It's not that useful. But this is where Bitcoins want to operate. Bitcoins want to operate in this space right here, the fiat space. And they want to be the alternative to the government saying you can only take dollars, let's say. So the idea would be UH could say, we take US dollars and we take Bitcoins. Whatever you want to pay us in is totally cool with us. What is it? I think I can go to a Clippers game and pay for Bitcoins. Oh, like Domino's Pizza, I can buy that with Bitcoin. What else can I use Bitcoins for? There's a few other things I can. You get the you get the current rate. Oh, when I took my trip to Seattle last summer with Truman, we were walking around and we saw an ATM that would give you Bitcoins. Oh, OkCupid, Zynga, Pizza for Coins, Cheap Air, Etsy. What else can I use it with? I'm curious enough. By the way, they always show that coin picture, but there is no such thing as an actual coin here. Obviously, it's a piece of art, essentially. Let's see, Overstock.com. Where else? Newegg, which apparently sells like gaming consoles. Dish Network, I think. Yeah, Dish Network. OkCupid, Zynga, Etsy. Yeah.
Don't you use on Bitcoin in the dark web or something?
Oh yeah. So basically, the biggest use for it is, again, me wanting to buy meth, right? Like if I want to buy meth, the idea would be, I don't know where Cash, let's say Cash and all of his meth lives in Kentucky, and I live here, right here in Hawaii. The idea is, if I just send him on the dark web a message and say, dude, I'll buy a whole bunch of meth from you for 3 Bitcoins, right? He's going to trust that transaction because he's going to know I'm on the up and up because I'm paying him with a cryptocurrency where there's no tracking of anything, right? So I just transfer my Bitcoins to his account and he probably sends it to me in the mail, probably. Right, but we're probably up to no good, right? We're talking like drugs, kiddie porn, like bad shit, right? I mean, like really nasty stuff that it's only going to happen if there's a financial incentive to be doing it, right? The meth grower or maker or whatever he's doing, right, however he's making it, he's not growing it because he loves the art and the
You could be a Heisenberg.
Yeah, he could. No, it's not like, like people that brew their own beers and they love the art and the craft of brewing beers. I don't think you find that with people who make meth, right? They're just in it for the money. And so the idea is, right, if there's Bitcoins out there, right, it's going to incentivize cash to, how do you make meth? Do you brew it? Make chemical? Cook it? Okay,
Cook
so,
it.
right, so the guy's going to cook it. Right, that's Breaking Bad, right? What's the guy making in Breaking Bad?
Heisenberg.
That's his name?
That's his nickname. That's why I said Heisenberg. He loved the craft. He loved making math. He made the best math.
Interesting. So he just liked doing it, huh?
He needed it for chemotherapy, but eventually he just.
Oh, the shaved head guy.
Yeah. Then he just loved doing it. It did me up for real.
To make good stuff, or
Yeah.
to like cure
He made
himself of the bad disease? Yeah.
Both.
Okay.
He was like loaded eventually.
I would suspect so. Well, he's making cash in West Virginia is making the bad drugs that he was selling at the store. It was called like Silk something. Does anyone remember what this is called? Silk Road.
I remember that.
That's what it was. So Silk Road was like this website where my proprietor here, Cash, the meth maker, would be able to sell his wares, his meth craft, on Silk Road. And how am I going to pay him on the Silk Road website? I'm going to pay him with Bitcoin, right? And that's how this all was working out. Finally, the authorities are like, dude, why is Cash, the dumb from West Virginia, so damn rich, right? And they like start tracing it out, right? The accountants come in and they trace out, he's getting it all from this website called Silk Road. And he's selling, they don't know how much money he's making because he's all doing it in Bitcoin, but here's the way we know what he's doing. How does then Silk Road basically as a entity get discovered? Because he's turning it into fucking cash, right? Because he can't pay his bills in Bitcoins, right? So going to this side of it, this is then where we start to see that Bitcoin is just either bad people doing bad stuff, right? Cash selling meth, or it's Cash as an investor trying to get suckers like me to be mining it, and then he's like stealing stuff off my computer. Because the problem for this would be medium of exchange. That's the cool thing about dollars. The cool thing about US dollars is I bought 10 gallons of gas yesterday, and we don't live in a barter economy, meaning I didn't deliver like a tenth of an economics lecture to get 10 gallons of gas. All right, I deliver lectures, I get paid cash, and then I give cash to Costco, who then gives me the gas. I don't have to care what Costco does. Costco doesn't have to care what I do. We know, just like in almost any transaction, cash is king. Cash in general, right? That cash is king, meaning it is the ultimate medium of exchange, right? If I want to buy your used car and I say to you, I'll give you my used car to trade in for your used car, dude, that transaction's probably not going anywhere, right? Or I'll give you my second-born son to get your car, right? Transaction's probably not going anywhere, right? The idea is, if I just say, dude, here's $30,000 cash, dude, I'm gonna be driving a new car, right? Or if I say, here's $1 million for a house, that generally has dominance over, right? I need to get my mortgage from my bank, right? And the bank will pay you, right? I mean, all the things that delay things, if I just say, here's $1 million cash, you know you can take it to Win at Banco and he'll deposit, right? He'll deposit all the cash. What's the biggest cash deposit someone's ever made with you?
Oh, I work in accounting.
Oh, you don't get to do
I'm not
exciting.
a teller.
Oh, damn it. What's the biggest transaction you've seen in the accounting side of it? You probably just see businesses that just have $1 million, right?
Pretty fat.
Well, yeah. Yeah, Catherine, what were you going to say?
So I guess you know how the dark web uses Bitcoins as like the main currency, I'd say.
Mhm.
What would happen when Bitcoin actually runs out in 2140? Like what currency would you use?
Well, so the battle right now, right, if we go back to this picture, the battle right now, as far as I can tell, is a battle over who is going to be the dominant one. So once we settle on something, they'll probably be, this is probably going to be pretty oligopolistic, meaning that we'll probably be either in a duopoly between Ethereum and Bitcoin. All these other ones will probably just disappear over time. If we go back to the underlying page behind this, so this is the thing I was trying to read up on before class. See, even professors use Wikipedia. So what's cool about this site is that, okay, so it was 2009. So this is listing all the cryptocurrencies. It says what the algorithm is that they're trying to solve. Basically, Bitcoin kind of takes the lead because it's the first one. But what starts to get cool is you start to see, look at, this is the one, Kanye, I think, because it was Kanye West as its mascot. And then Kanye didn't form it, but he got really pissed that someone stole his like trademark of his name. And so then that cryptocurrency went out of business. No, but now, is that what that says? Titcoin? Oh, because it's a cryptocurrency for adult. So I'm guessing it's like for porn, I'm guessing.
Oh, funny fact.
About Titcoins?
No, there's like a gun convention every year.
Yeah.
And then like it's on Monday, Tuesday, right after that.
Yeah.
It's the porn convention.
No, that makes sense. I probably just stick around a few more days. Popcoin. I'm sure there's one for guns, probably, right? Guncoin or something. But this isn't the exciting part. Well, for me, I don't care about that stuff. So the reason why, so this is maybe going to be somewhat interesting for you, Win, or maybe interesting for you, Dylan, of Tether. The reason why Tether is becoming a little bit more interesting is you can actually do audits with it. So this is actually where it's starting to become, the Bitcoins are starting to become a little bit more legitimatized, right? That I could be a business that accepts Bitcoins. It's at a 1-to-1 ratio to the US dollar, and I can do audits with it. So you can see pretty easily, even though it only comes out in 2015, you can see pretty easily why it's number 3. Because it's actually probably, in this case, even though others are accepting Bitcoins, they might be either turning them into dollars or they might be turning them into Tether, which then convert to US dollars. No, but the more exciting things are, look at the ones that are starting to then fail. So BitConnect, Kodak Coin, and Petro. So let's start with Kodak Coin. Kodak would be, dude, if you are taking a picture, you used to have to develop the film, and that was through Kodak cameras. And then when we talked, remember, I think you guys might remember this from the Analyzing Economic Data class. Kodak, this dying American business, wanted to say they were going to create these, basically these machines full of these GPUs that were going to do nothing but mine Bitcoin. And then Kodak was like, dude, why don't we just make our own cryptocurrency that it would mine? And what it will be used for is to pay for like people borrowing each other's pictures, right? The royalties that we all pay. No, that was Kodak Coin, which failed. And then the other one is called the Petro. The Petro is from Venezuela, which just had its elections. Because Venezuela is a failing country, but the one thing it has is oil. So it wanted to create a blockchain cryptocurrency based off of oil.
Sounds like they need freedom.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a break now. It's 8:25. Let's take a break till, or sorry, 6:25. Let's take a break till 6:35. So let's take a 10-minute break, and then I'll pick it up from here after that. Go make, I don't know, see what my Bitcoins are at, or my Satoshis.
Oil. They have a lot of oil.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So I'm at, okay, I've got 124 Satoshis right now. No, not even, no, because I need 100 million to get a Bitcoin. So yeah, it might be, I guess, it might be a fraction of a penny, I think. A small.
I
Yeah.
mean, how much have you estimated how much?
If it takes 4 generations to do it,
Oh yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm guessing I can cash out with less than the Bitcoin. I'm guessing.
I'm assuming. Can you?
I don't know. I don't even know. I see. Unfortunately, I think the site I'm using. I mean, again, the site is the scam here. That's really the scam. I think the scam here is that I'm only going to get paid out when I've accumulated a Bitcoin, which is never going to happen. I think if I was using what real professional miners use, that software, I can probably own individual Satoshis that I could then convert into something. But this site's only going to pay me out when I have a Bitcoin, I think.
speed goes almost guarantees you.
I'm never going to do it. No, again, they're making the money by the ads all around it, which credit to them, dude, right? I mean, they saw an opportunity and they seized it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one sucker. It's on the Microsoft store, so they apparently got Microsoft to legitimize it. Because I just wanted something nice and simple. I didn't want to have to screw up my computer any more than I had to. So I figured, well, it's on the Microsoft store. It can't be that bad.
Can you only run it on one computer? So you can't like do multiple computers and
No, I can actually run it on multiple computers. I just chose not to because I don't want to. I don't want slowing down my actual legitimate what I get paid for work. I don't know. It's going. Christina, do you think you're going to do this at home? See, why is your computer just sitting there idle? Why don't you start? Yeah, get it going here.
Is it plugged into an Ethernet cord, or is it just?
Yeah, it's using the school's Wi-Fi, the school's electric. I'm just pure banking the money right now.
I bet you can't ever catch it up.
Yeah. So, oh wait, or maybe I am getting paid.
you just insert the other address?
Am I getting paid every 100 Satoshis? That would be kind of cool. So 100 Satoshis would then mean I'm getting a millionth of a Bitcoin, a millionth of a Bitcoin. So 3625 divided by 1 million would be how many zeros here? Well, it's obviously 6. So a third of a penny?
No, less than that.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
0.003 of a dollar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You're making them a lot of money.
Yeah, because now I want to know if my dog licks its paws. I have to do that every day. Do you have a dog?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a pug.
Oh, that means it's going to have breathing problems, right? Or does it already?
Yeah, the vet said that his nose is like already smashed, but they're not gonna touch it for now.
How old is this dog?
He's 1 year next month.
Oh. And that's already, so it's actually not that old even, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep mining here. But we're going to watch a movie in this class. I mean, so, because I mean, again, like the thing I really like about this class, I mean, I have only like 1 or 2 more things to say. We can talk about it more generally and you can ask whatever you want. I might not know the answer. But the cool thing about this class is that each of these topics I will know almost nothing about before we do the lecture. So you may sound like after this class, you're like, dude, Scheiding knows a lot about Bitcoins. He's really smart. I'm really not. Like, I learned this all starting yesterday. So, I mean, you could have asked, I knew it was a cryptocurrency and I knew there was a blockchain, but that was all that I knew. Just like I'm now smarter about the shutdown. Well, look at this one. BitConnect used it was a Ponzi scheme.
What are we gonna do for the next topic?
I don't know. I have to look at what my thing says. What was my next one? I kind of skipped over. Now that we said that we don't need me to do that stupid, like, well, I do have bad news. Once we get through 4 minutes of this, our break being done, the bad news is that we're going to do the intro speeches next week, which will be really fast. Like a minute, 2 minutes, you introduce yourself to the class, you say whatever you want in the introduction. But what it does is it gives me a quick chance to I'll have a rubric and it'll be really fast. And I can just say, dude, again, Nick, why are you pacing back and forth? Stop doing that. Or why are you standing in the corner not looking at the audience, right? So if there's some immediately recognizable problem, we'll identify that next week. It's not graded, so you could just wing it. You could forget that this conversation ever occurred. And I could just say, introduce yourself, right? You just come to the front, you do your thing. You don't need to prepare a PowerPoint. You don't need to do any of those things. But the lead up to that is then we'll probably do the first actual speech. I'll write up a sheet. That way everyone kind of knows what to expect. But you can either do PowerPoint or not. You do need to do, if you have a PowerPoint and it's a formal topic, you'll need some references. I'll put out some topics out there. If you want to take the topic I give you, that's fine. If you want to make your own topic, go to town. Right? If you want to clear it with me first, you can. If you don't, you take the risk that you could be really off base. So we'll do a few of those speeches again, just to kind of spread things out. But now that we're not doing, but again, the reason why I say is that now that we're not doing, where I have to spend like weeks talking about how to give a speech, is that see what we talk about next week. I don't even remember. I just let's see. What am I doing here? Wait, wasn't there a guy? Do you remember, either of you, Nick or Dylan? Do you remember? Wasn't there that one guy in class whose like mother or aunt owned a whole bunch of Bitcoin? Do you remember that? He like sat in the front. I don't remember what his name was. Sat in the middle, and his mom worked for like the city or state. But like the big thing she had was like she owned like 5 Bitcoin or something. There was some guy. I was gonna try to hit him up for a loan, but I don't know what his name is. I'm kidding. Bitcoins. So for me, I just want to finish my closing comments about Bitcoins at this point. So for me, and I think many others, the problem with Bitcoins is that they don't fulfill the conditions 1 and 3, but they do number 2 very well. Bitcoins are not a useful medium of exchange, meaning I would have a hard time finding a retailer that will accept Bitcoins. Etsy is cool and all, but you sell a lot of stuff on Etsy, don't you?
I moved off of Etsy because their fees got too high, so I'm on my own website now. We're on Shopify.
Ah, how are sales going at this point?
Good.
Better than last year?
It gets better every year.
Really?
Yeah.
It's gotta be like the best at like the beginning of the year, right? Isn't that when most people buy it, or no?
More sales because it's the holidays.
Oh, okay. Like how much are we talking here? Good money? Should I get in the business? I probably shouldn't, Greg, because I'll hurt your
No,
business.
no.
I don't think it actually would matter.
What do you say?
I saw
Stickers
Oh,
that you would use in a planner and stuff, like that would say like some of them are like cutesy, but others like fulfill an actual purpose that would say this is due, or
Yeah.
which is how she got the nickname of stickers. It actually was only useful because I only found out the sticker thing at the very sort of towards the end of the
Yeah.
class, wasn't it?
Mhm.
But I think you got a few sales from that too, didn't you?
Uh,
From that, like after we like announced your business in class.
on.
Oh, maybe not. Okay.
What is it on? How would you buy stickers?
I have a website,
What's the website? You might as well tell us.
SamanthaMaysticks.com.
oh, nice.
Wow. Who made you the website?
It's on Shopify.
Oh, so it's like a storefront
Yeah.
in Shopify. That's kind of cool.
Buy and sell web domains now.
No, I know. So I should buy your name. And then you sell it to me. So fortunately here, what's nice about this is that because I get to skip these 3 weeks here. Oh shit, this is my older version of Solos. I can't see what it is. Okay. And reminds me that I need to post the updated version. Is it on Shopify?
You can just type Samantha.
I can spell your name, don't worry.
Samantha.
Yes, Samantha, M-A-E, sticks. Look at that. That's pretty smart, huh? It must be enough people are looking it up that Google's telling me to go to it.
The first one.
Yeah.
And then the second one is mine.
Oh, I get first-hand sneaks.
Oh gosh.
$2 Tuesdays. Orders are processing. 10 to 20 days?
Because everything is
Shipped?
I hand make everything. So like
Are these your fingers?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. Is this your countertop, your kitchen countertop?
It's a table.
Oh. Oh, $15 for that? Wow. What's the best seller here?
Usually all the foil stickers.
And you haven't been doing this for that many years, right?
Since 2016.
Holly in Scott City just got the Bose icon. Do you have so many sales that you really don't even know who's doing what anymore?
What do you mean?
Like how many on an average day, how many stickers are being bought on this site?
Okay, so you know how it says $2 Tuesday? I have those like twice a month,
Yeah.
and I make about 200 orders.
Wow. Damn.
Do you want to know how much I make?
Yeah, I
for that?
totally want to. I totally want to know.
I make 5K.
Damn, selling stickers.
It's crazy.
Damn. Selling stickers. Like that's after cost. You made 5K.
And it doesn't like you don't.
No wonder you don't do Etsy anymore then, right? Because Etsy was taking like.
Yeah, too much.
How much were they taking from you?
It was, but they took it off of shipping too. So instead of just the total price, they took it off like the shipping. Whatever used to do that.
Oh wow. Okay. So foil stickers are the big sellers.
Because it's really in right now.
How did you get this idea again? You did this in high school, right? Did you say that you did it in high school or no?
When I was starting a freshman of college.
So you started it that semester
Yeah.
that we had that class?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. You know, doesn't that make you feel like you're lazy? I mean, it makes me feel like I'm lazy. I should be
Yeah.
selling stickers.
Side hustle.
Yeah, it's a great side hustle.
Because the community is really big. Like
The sticker community?
Like the planner community.
Oh.
It's crazy. Like you didn't even know it was
So, like, what are planner people like?
Most of them are older, to be honest. You would think that they were like younger, but most of them are older.
Oh, that's cool. Netflix one, so you could put on your calendar like we're watching Netflix tonight, right? Is that what that's supposed to be?
Basically, yeah. It sounds really cool.
No, it doesn't at all, actually. I don't own a planner, so you'd wonder how I actually organize my life, but it's all in my head. Unfortunately for you, there's no stickers for my head. But
I mean, you could just put it on your head.
yeah, who in here has a planner?
Wait, what do you, like, how do you ship those out? You have like,
Well, in your case, you'll just bring it to class and you can buy it right away.
you have like a bunch of like envelopes or like, how, like just that?
Yeah, how do the stickers not get all like fucked up in the mail and stuff?
Oh, I sent it in like a hard, it's kind of like a hard cardboard where like it's
Oh, I know those things. Yeah.
And then you just keep all your material in your house? Or
Yeah.
Like a room. It's got to be taking up like a room, right?
My room, yeah.
So like when you go to sleep at night, there are stickers everywhere. And you make these yourself. How do you make them? Like, do you have a printer just go into town?
Yes, I have 2 printers and then I have 4 cutting machines. So basically you just print it out and then you send it to the cutters and then it will cut.
So you're not really even doing it by hand. You're just putting it on a
Yeah.
computer.
Just sitting
and the
in front of
computer is doing the
computer
work.
all day.
So whereas my computer is solving a Bitcoin algorithm, yours is actually making you money. Mine is only doing it very slowly. Yours is, wow.
Hustling.
Yeah. What's the biggest order you've gotten at once? What, like the biggest order you've ever gotten?
Almost $200
Dollars or stickers?
on stickers.
Why were they buying so many stickers?
I have no idea.
You don't ever
I'm
get
not gonna
curious?
touch it 'cause, like, they're paying me.
Mm-hmm.
They probably give them as gifts. Like, found these stickers are cool.
Australia?
Mhm.
So you send these worldwide.
I'm shipped to Japan, China.
The Australians don't have sticker people out there that they can buy them from, or?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
My question is, how do they?
Aren't the Japanese really well known for their like office supplies? Like they always have like really high.
And they're stationary.
Yeah. So why are they buying stickers from you? Huh.
That's an insulting question. Oh. We need a side hustle.
So what was the $2 Tuesday?
It was foil stickers.
Oh, there's no more.
Yeah.
It's not Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm catching up on all the orders.
Damn. Crazy.
Dude, we gotta think of a side hustle.
I don't know. The sticker avenue's already been taken.
Most of people need.
I never would have thought stickers, so I'm obviously not very good at this. How did you come up with it? Did you just like, I can't find stickers anymore, so I'm just gonna make them?
No, because my niece came home with a planner ready from her teacher.
Yeah.
And then I googled the brand of it, and then I found out about this, like the planner community. And then at that point, I was like, wait, I'm buying too much stickers for myself, so why don't I just make my own?
Oh, and then you like started saying, dude, I could start making these for others.
People buy them.
Oh, let's just see what your favorites are, and then I'll actually get into legitimate stuff here.
I haven't updated like that in a long time.
So these really aren't your favorites anymore?
No.
Oh. Sassy Panda. Can you use these in any planner, or can you use? Why don't you start selling planners too, or do
I
you?
don't have money for that.
Because couldn't you just buy other planners out there and then just start like wholesaling, buying them at wholesale?
So those I design on my own. I had them at a factory in China.
Oh.
Nice.
Wow. At least you're lazy. Okay.
Oh, man, dude.
I know.
Ass.
Well, that's stickers for you. Okay, so what economists believe, this is kind of the end of my thing about is Bitcoin money, is in general, economists say it doesn't do two of the three things that money must do. Money must do three things. Act as a medium of exchange, meaning it's a common thing that is accepted and avoids us having to barter with each other. We know that most retailers don't take Bitcoin. So fails the first condition. Third condition, unit of account. Unless you're being issued bills in Bitcoin as a denomination, or you're getting paid in Bitcoin or other things, it also obviously fails that condition. Usually if number one is failed, number three will fail as well. So the only thing that Bitcoin has as an advantage over the US dollar is obviously store of value. Bitcoins really, really, really store their value well in one sense. Not in one sense and only in one sense. They're obviously not storing their value well if you are converting them to US dollars. Because right, I just said went from like $300 to $900 to $11,000 to $3,000. So in the exchange, it's not storing its value, but Bitcoins themselves are storing their value well because there's only 21 million of them. So that, in that sense, it is storing its value well. It's just not storing its value well if you want to turn it into something else. So on 2 of the 3 counts, Bitcoins are not money. So what it means then is why would you want a Bitcoin? This is the last thing I'll say then, based on what I know, is that Bitcoin is useful primarily because of blockchain and primarily because, I'll use this term very loosely, because you're doing something probably pretty bad and you want to use this as an investment where, again, let's say I'm selling, again, meth out of the back of my car. I'm probably, just to really not get in trouble, I'm not going to take credit card transactions. I don't even want cash. I just want Bitcoins. And I'll figure it out, right? I'll have to convert it all the time. But just like global businesses have to manage accepting multiple currencies, the meth retailer will have to manage and time my Bitcoin transactions and my conversion, which would mean there probably has to be some options somewhere where I can hedge my bets then too, huh? There's probably got to be something where I can hedge my bets in Bitcoins. What do you take? Do you just take dollars?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe you should start taking Bitcoins. Well, Etsy is doing it. Wow, we can do rewards too.
Yeah. It's like incentives always come
To buy more.
Yeah.
Do you have an app too?
An app? No.
I guess why would you need one, I guess, right? I never looked at your app. I mean, obviously I already knew that you were doing this, but I actually never looked at the site. Because I think at the time you were only on Etsy before, right? Yeah. Okay, that's all I have to say about Bitcoins. What do you have to say about Bitcoins, I guess, or what questions you have, or what do you want to know that maybe I don't know, but we could figure it out?
So prior to like the transaction fees and stuff, what would be the primary interest of you creating a cryptocurrency? Like when people are mining that?
That's a great question. Yeah, so why would you? Yeah, so that's a really great question. So the question is why? So we saw those list of different cryptocurrencies. Anyone can start one. So the question basically is why would someone start one? And the reason why you would start one is because what you're planning then to do is you're going to either then develop the software or you're going to develop all the things that those who are going to do the mining are going to want to, are going to have to buy or whatever to start buying the currency that maybe you've already started mining already. So the idea would be, I think that was the whole idea behind Litecoin, was that basically you got some investors who got together and said, let's start our own cryptocurrency. They found some unique way, some unique aspect of that cryptocurrency. And so then they basically start mining it. But then to really give it value, they need lots of people mining it, right? Because then that's what starts the transaction fees. It's what starts everything going. So the cryptocurrency only has value in its wider use. And so then that's where you then start having the hustle, right? Which would be Bitcoin basically dominates the market, but Tether, right, now with this auditing ability, starts to become more viable. Litecoin or Ethereum become more valuable. So in some sense, again, it's like you hustle because you want your brand to be the dominant brand, just like Pepsi versus Coke, Bitcoin versus Ethereum. And there was actually a fake cryptocurrency. Someone created one like out of like as a joke. And
So I guess what I'm saying too is like some people do it faster because their GPU is better. Like
yep.
What is the purpose of like what? So there's like a long code that they have that you have to solve or something.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't it just be someone logs in and says, oh, I want to be here? Like what are they using your GPU for?
There's no social purpose behind solving this math problem unless you just like the challenge. There's no social purpose behind these cryptocurrencies. The thing is that what I've noticed is that the people who like cryptocurrencies are either people who just like to give their middle finger to the man and say like, I don't like the central bank, right? So not just like really, but we're talking like doomsday scenario, like right-wing people, right? So like there's some people who just like, I don't trust the US dollar for any damn thing, right? People who talk like that, you seem to use the word damn. I don't trust for any damn thing, right? I'm going to use this alternative currency that doesn't rely on all those politicians in Washington, D.C., right? And so they would use the people who probably hang out at the gun range, right? These would be a classic Bitcoin kind of owner, or your fake, or your cryptocurrency. Or again, I have a lot of this cryptocurrency I created. I now need to get everyone else to do it. So again, then it's your Ponzi scheme where the early ones that adopt it get paid out a lot. And then like a pyramid, right, those who get in last don't get as much money from it. So I'm looking at this, and then I'm looking at this for the kind of the first time here. This is from about half a year ago. So it looks like the Chinese are finding lots of fake cryptocurrencies, which I guess if it's fake, yeah, so basically then it's just the latter category, which would be it's a pyramid scheme. Yeah. Which I guess why it's good that I'm going with Bitcoin. It's more legitimate. So, yeah, the big debate right now, as far as I know, the big debate right now is that, you know how like when a company becomes legitimate, it creates an IPO and then issues stock? What companies are wanting to do is offer what are called these ICOs, which would be these initial coin offerings. And right now, you can't do that. So I can't buy stock in Bitcoin. Like I can't own, right? The only way I can do it is by mining it. And I think there's I can join with others to mutually mine things. But right now I'm kind of just mining on my own here. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but it seems kind of shady. So let's look at this guy. already looks untrustworthy, right? He's wearing sunglasses in a picture. Probably doesn't want to be known. But the other way you would know that he's a shady character is he's a student of Austrian economics. So Austrian economists really hate the Federal Reserve. They hate the government. This is like Rand Paul. Rand Paul would be a legitimate Austrian. This guy looks like probably a crackpot. Yeah, he's probably, I don't know, stickers. What do you think? Do you think this guy would steal from you? He doesn't look that trustworthy though, right? This guy? Not that guy either. But this guy killed a guy. This guy, the guy who started McAfee virus software, that's this guy, and he killed someone in like Venezuela, not Venezuela, like in like, I don't know, pick your South American country where Americans get away with anything. That's what that guy did. Yeah, he went to Roanoke College.
He killed somebody? The McAfee guy?
Yeah, I think he killed 2 people, but yeah, he killed someone. He tried to get away with it. And,
He makes like crazy
oh, and I guess here 2 days ago, I guess he also did crypto tax fraud, I guess. They did kill someone, or at least he was accused of killing someone. Let's go see what he did.
Like, did he
What about stickers? Would you trust that guy?
happen?
No.
He looks pretty scary, doesn't he? Let's find out about John McAfee. One of my good friends from graduate school, Eddie Nakah, teaches at the college where that guy is an alumni, and apparently, yeah. So he went to I hope he went to Roanoke. It's the same guy. He went to Roanoke College. I'm hoping. Yep, Roanoke College. So it's the same guy.
He makes videos telling people not to download McAfee.
Does he really?
Yeah. And he does super crazy things to discredit his brand. So, in his last one, he had like 2 strippers come out and they just drinking beer and stuff.
Yeah.
Just talking about how people should have McAfee downloaded on their computer.
So it looks like he was in Belize. And yeah, some guy had a gunshot wound, and I think they thought it was him, or maybe it was him. So then he left Belize before he got caught. Then he went to Guatemala, it looks like. Then he had 2 heart attacks. Then Belize gave up on looking for him. Then he's DUI. Well, that's probably minor in comparison to everything else. And now it looks like he, yeah. Oh, Gringo. Did you watch that? No. Okay. Johnny Depp is going to be him in the upcoming movie King of the Jungle. Okay, what other questions do you have? Or what do we want to know that we don't know already? Besides stickers too. What's next on your, so for your business, what is next that we should know? Like, are you going to expand beyond stickers, or are you just going to keep going how you're doing? No innovation? Okay. I guess you don't need to know yet. But aren't you like worried about someone? Who's your biggest competitor right now?
There's a lot of
Oh, I'm sure there is. But here in Hawaii, is there one?
no.
Really?
Well, now, yeah, come on, man. Let's get going here.
Yeah, I want to think of something innovative on my own, like something.
But the thing is stickers aren't that innovative, right? I mean, it was just an
I don't want to steal some, like, be inspired and then go on to someone's. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. I think, Sam, you got a good idea going here.
Can I invest in stickers?
Yeah, do you need investors?
Yeah.
I'll pay you in Bitcoin.
You get to like 4 net centers for like 10% or something.
Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even watch Netflix anymore, but everyone's taken over my profile.
Just name them. You should name them all freeloaders.
Yeah, yeah. My kid. there's Truman. Then there's my niece. Then there's my nephew. Then there's my brother-in-law. Then there's me. But I actually don't use my profile. So let's look at what I'm watching. I'm obviously not watching Carmen Sandiego. Although I loved playing that game as a kid, I am not watching Carmen Sandiego. Yeah.
Just wondering, did we?
How did you ever wind up in crime
What?
school?
You want the whole story?
Welcome to Val Training Academy for Thieves. If you choose a path of the professional thief,
What we're really talking about is how much government gives. Right. So the government is basically permitting it to be used. And they're basically just saying Bitcoins can exist, but they're useless. If Bitcoin is they then undermining the US dollar. After I love Carmen. I love that show.
The old one?
Hmm?
The old one?
Yeah, the computer game. Do you remember playing the computer game?
Yeah.
There was like, where in the USA is Carmen Sandiego, and then where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Do you remember? Like, you remember playing those? Bob, did you have to play those?
I used to play like Hey Arthur on the computer. There's like
Hey Arthur.
I used to play a space game on the computer. I used to play the world.
Counter Strike.
Let's see, what did I play? Legend of Zelda.
Definitely.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Minesweeper. I remember playing that. Ooh, there was this game called Pyro, where you had to, like, the house was burning down, or you had to start fires to burn the house down, or you had to stop the fires. I don't remember which one it was. Probably. Yeah, probably. Ooh, there was one called, like, Rescue Chopper, where you had to, like, take this little helicopter and, like, rescue someone off a thing, but then, like, people are shooting at you at the same time, and oh man. Okay, so apparently, oh yeah, I'm supposed to watch this whole Marie Kondo thing, right? It's about getting rid of junk.
What?
It's about getting rid of junk that is like, yeah.
That's British.
Nope, she's Japanese. Okay, so other questions while I'm getting ready, I'm getting this movie loaded. So it's on Netflix, so this isn't like a, I don't want to stop at mining my Bitcoin, but I feel like I have to. So the movie that I haven't watched it. I watched the trailer very briefly. So So this movie is going to talk about the scam aspects of Bitcoin. Again, that's my bias. I am not trying to say that you can't believe and be a believer. Um, you can't be a believer in this. I'm not stopping you. I'm not going to be a part of your thing, but call me a naysayer. Call me an old fogey. Happily, you can. See, if Sam, here's the issue, right? Is that if Sam were to accept Bitcoins and sell stickers, I would hope that you would hold on to the Bitcoins, that you would immediately turn them into dollars, which again is the whole reason why it can't be money then. How would a US dollar be worth anything if I always immediately turned it into euros? Right? Just like the Mongolian turkey. What do most people want in Mongolia? US dollars, dude. Food too, yeah. But no, I mean, most people want US dollars. They don't want to hold on to Mongolian turkey. There's rampantly high inflation in Mongolia. That $2 million in Mongolian turkey in my office probably was like $70 last year, and now it's like probably about 50 now. Okay, so there's two movies I was looking at. So the two are really cool. This one is like a Viet movie about some guy who steals some bitcoins and he's like a spy. We're not gonna watch that one. So this one, yeah, Bitcoin heist. I started to watch it. It's from 2016. No, it is. For a Viet movie, this is actually really high quality. Yeah. Yeah, no. So we were gonna watch this, but only Win and I would appreciate it. I think. I don't think the rest of you would. But you can watch this at home. Are you kidding me? Incognito. What's someone doing in this place? How do I turn it off? Probably mining bitcoins. Watching, yeah, I guess they're watching cool stuff in here. Well, what's good about this now is now they will be able to find their sticker source. Are you trying to get your niece into it now, or no? You just want it all for yourself. That's good. She doesn't want to? Is it because you pay too little? Or do you pay in stickers? What do you pay in? Do you pay in cash or stickers? She's lazy. Kids. Okay, so Bitcoin Heist would be the Viet movie to watch. If you want to watch a pretty good, for production quality of a Viet movie, it's actually pretty good. But that's what we're not going to watch it. We're going to watch this. I don't think we'll watch all 1 hour and 23 minutes, although I haven't seen it, so I haven't seen it at all. So I don't know if there's profanity or nudity or anything. I'm hoping for both, but I don't think I'll get either. The purpose of the movie is how people are getting rich off, which is going to be, I think, the main purpose. Like if we're like with each of these topics, I'm trying to say what is true more likely than not. Suspecting it's a little bit more this than something else, but what do I know?
I live literally right by the World Trade Center. I walk. My ankle bracelet. Tell the governor where I am every second of the day, any time of the day. But it's gonna come up when they go to prison, I think. I don't think I'm running. That's fun. Numbers on the markets today. At one point, the market fell as if down a well.
It was a historic day with Wall Street shaken to its very foundation. And even the health of the most trusted firms are now being called into question.
We have former Secretary secretaries of treasury who go from government to Wall Street pocketing hundreds of millions of dollars.
2008, I became somewhat obsessed with the money itself, the crisis, global banks, and why was it that our money banks? Something new happens. Is the government likely to nod or at least ignore it for a while? There's still to come down and kind of crush it. It's afraid maybe.
This is a monetary revolution. This one is beyond the current.
This past week we were talking about money. I'm gonna ask everybody, what do you think money is? Give me some answers now.
Money is like paper, and you can like buy stuff with it. So you have to have like four corners for it. You need money to buy your house, like food, water, oxygen, gas.
Money is basically just accounting. There's a way of reporting who owns what, who has what, who owns what to do. That is all money really is. And you need somebody who can stand it. Somebody who is a third party. Someone who's guaranteed that the money was real. And for hundreds of years now, we have government issuing money. Again, money is just income. That's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is really like money. It's a way of recording transactions, recording value, and it does it digitally so you and I can see it directly. Everything in the open way.
Right. Monitoring, updating that collective census based system. You do away with the need for somebody in the middle having to be people. And that's what gets away from fees, efficiencies, and ultimately corruption and risk that come from centralized information.
What it does is it takes that as a trusted third party function and it automates it. Puts it into an open ledger that is put online, that is there for anybody to see, so that every Bitcoin is accounted for. So you know you're not getting accounted for.
It's kind of remarkable that idea of Bitcoin was launched a few weeks after the bankrupt and the whole system nearly collapsed. And the problems that cropped up in the crisis were very much part of the writings of Satoshi Nakamoto. And what the crisis showed is that the existing system had some major flaws. It wasn't, and people were hungry for something alternative. I discovered Bitcoin's power when I understood that sometimes it's not controlled by people. Because I knew that meant it's going to be shut down. And if you can't get shut down, all it needs is to do something useful and it will become more and more adopted. And as the value grows, find more and more useful for it.
The beauty of Bitcoin is you can remove it autonomous, and by 2140 there's going to be 21 million. That's the cap. There's only X amount of gold. There's only X amount of Bitcoin.
Or if you wanted to send something of value across the internet,
I think I was.
involved in the transaction. So Bitcoin is directly sending this currency to another person, and then the Bitcoin network performs the function that normally Bitcoin really is control that in the hands of everybody, right? Who's participating in the system.
If you want to look at the genesis of cryptocurrency, it was a cypherpunk movement, starting out with a kind of a love of the internet and the possibility to
discovery of cryptography and imagining that actually give birth to a new world, really, out of the internet. That a world that lives outside the internet and outside the structural power and the hierarchy. These people have talked about the need and the possibility for a digital person not using cryptography. Cyberpunk that emerged in the early 90s was hyper concerned about privacy, about personal liberty, and a lot of people come up with their own systems. Some of them seem very close to happening. There's one fight being the closest to Digit Dash from David Fowl.
Privacy things is actually essential for democracy. The reason is not because you need to be able to make private payments in order to express yourself, but rather that in order to inform yourself, you may need purpose information, and that's the thing that allows you to have things worth expressing.
Although I wouldn't say David Trump was the second one, fired because if cyberpunks had came upon David Trump tool, like the technologists speaking, and they only put the weapon, they were both interested in the ones that could be disempowered, powered.
The great thing in Cyberpunk came when he realized he would need existing institutions to help him with it. So he started talking to government, he started talking to him. He was very close to having this thing happen in the late 90s. Nobody was good outside of Cyberpunk.
People seem like they'd almost sort of given up on the project, other than a few experiments here and there by Hal Finney and Cabo. The conversation around it just died down, and then all of a sudden it came back to life after the financial crisis, and you had people going back to those experiments and looking at new ways to bring things together. Cabo in 2006 had just finished up a midlife impact law school, and if you look at Nick's writing around the financial crisis, that it really revived his interest in these ideas that he's been working on in the 1990s, privacy, contract, problem of government, other trusted third parties, and he brought Bitcoin back into the conversation.
So Hal Finney came up with his own system. Adam Back has Hashcash, Ray Guy has D-Money, Gabo has Bitcoin. So what Satoshi did in 2008, Satoshi took a lot of these ideas and made them work. Created an encryption-based protocol, not layers, utilizing a ledger called a blockchain, allowing for many kinds of transactions, contracts, all kinds of things to be built in the blockchain. And it does this through a system of consensus where multiple computers all participate in the management of blockchain data, digital documents, if you will, that keeps track of all the things.
Something that is instantaneous online and one country to the other.
Well, I never heard of it until he called me and mentioned digital currency, and I was thinking, it must have been in the Bible this morning or something. Digital currency,
They say it's a deep notified.
I can't understand if one coin is so big for hundreds of dollars. What do you do? Give the number or something to the, say, the third person, and then they subtract it? How do you know? How do you make change? How do you know what you have left?
You can have the money supply controlled by the computer. That's what Bitcoin really is. The key point here is that this is a distributed ledger. There is no central server. All the other ledgers, all banking ledgers, all company ledgers, they all sit and reside inside that company, which means they have one point of attack that can be hacked. JP Morgan was hacked by cyber thieves not so long ago. Home Depot, Target, we've had all these companies get hacked. Precisely because there's one central depository of information. The Bitcoin ledger resides on thousands of computers. You can't hack that. Every single transaction is recorded, and once it is recorded in the blockchain, it is there. It cannot be altered, cannot be changed, so that you can read it. Now, the identities of the people are encrypted, all are encrypted. don't know who is spending the money. You know that every single Bitcoin out there has history, you know where it's been, you know the different custody funds.
Why if I keep my password, then I
The
can't find
most
out.
important pieces of Bitcoin infrastructure are the miners, these are the computers that are tasked with maintaining the ledger on the blockchain, to verify the information up there, to make sure that it is trustworthy. So how do we incentivize them to do so? As they are going through the process of confirming transactions, they are simultaneously being subjected to a very, very difficult computing test. Bitcoin or protocol is forcing them to look for a number. All of these miners are competing to be the ones to receive that payout. But really, that's the secondary component. They're really being rewarded with Bitcoin for what is the more important task, and validation and verification of transactions.
So see, that's one thing that is, so outside of the non-worthless mathematical problem, the other part of it, right, is that it's what the financial reward is why I'm giving up my Lenovo to store this device. Right? So again, two tasks are happening, and just as you pointed out, even though it's taking up the bulk of my processing power to store the problem, the small part of it, that's the real value, would be this big one.
Bitcoin in being the first to achieve this holy grail of decentralized value exchange that transfers that process of trust to a collective agreement around a body of independent computers who are compelled by an incentive system to maintain that consensus and confirm the information to be correct is incredibly liberating, because it means that we can do it without all these intermediaries in all these different realms. The most important thing behind Bitcoin is not currency, the key value of the blockchain. Nobody. You're very just
all my communications issues ever via Bitcoin platforms, which all that communication is public, or private forum messages, or private emails. Satoshi was always open, just always about the code. The very first message to Satoshi, I asked him, so, Satoshi, your real name, what have you done before? Tell me a little bit about yourself. He just like that. I think that he said, no, great, more perfect. Problems to solve.
2011, I was Bitcoin sort of as a hobby and doing that. I was trying to meet everyone to figure out what projects we could work on. I met Roger here in August of that year, and a few months later, he recommended to back Charlie Trim, started a business, and Charlie hired me as a marketing business.
Bitcoin is cash with wings. It's the ability to be able to take a local transaction and do it globally. And that's why Bitcoin is going to overturn the financial infrastructure. Bitcoin is like the largest socio-economic experiment the world has ever seen.
Our conversations would range from, the mundane and practical, like how the hell are we going to get the bank account, our current bank account, how we can get that now, to very high-minded aspirational stuff. Is this actually going to change the world in a good way? Are we just the crazy people who don't know what the hell they're talking about? Or are we actually starting to initiate an industry which in hindsight will look obvious to everyone right now?
Charles Trip was, that's a really high profile figure, Vice Chairman of the Bitcoin Foundation, and one of these Bitcoin millionaires who made a lot of money and really played an important role in the structure of managing the funds and the system. That's really right.
632 bid, 654 offer in the New York cash market for Bitcoin. Buyers right now will pay $632 cash on the spot. When have you been getting their Bitcoin? Yeah, I know what it is. You know what I prefer? I prefer you want to go on down to 40 Broad, right next door to the stock exchange there, the New York Bitcoin Center, you can buy and sell all the time.
Just one small table ground and that has flowers, like flower arrangements. Really nice flower arrangements. Point flowers would be white, purple, and orange. We put together the first Bitcoin center here in New York City, right next door to the New York Stock Exchange. Bitcoin is a new space. Many of the rules and regulations haven't been imposed yet, but we will open one day soon, after the lawyers do their job, a live digital currency exchange. What's happening here is a fusion between Wall Street and Bitcoin. Satoshi seems to acknowledge that it would be hard for Bitcoin to develop in any way in which it wasn't interacting with the regular economy of dollars. The problem with exchanges is that they put you back to this old world that Bitcoin is really trying to get away from. As soon as you move back to change, you're moving back to the world. Some third party has all this personal data on you, has all of your money, has all the security and really has none of the strength that Bitcoin is designed to provide. Tim McCaleb created Mt. God essentially on a lark one night because he couldn't buy Bitcoin. And interestingly, he did it by starting URL that previously on training. You get an idea about where some of the stuff is, how they're really kind of rudimentary something work. That essentially put these sites together and put it online without much thought. Immediately thought, much faster. And then I realized that in the US there's all these regulations get applied. There's a lot of like legal risk around money transition. Then essentially sold it to the first person who found Mark Carpella, French guy who was living in Tokyo. He really knew very little about Mark besides himself. And once he took it over, it began growing much more quickly than Mark was expecting or was prepared. He's still running it. The 21 million Bitcoin program is the system that are going to be released that number. But within that, every single Bitcoin can be divided up into 100 million pieces. So there's room for it to expand as the use expand, especially in the emerging markets in the developing world. That is really the most interesting place to see where this can go. In my pocket, I have 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollars from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. It's a reminder of what happens if the government screw up our money. Zimbabwe is a good example of government lost the trust of their people. And lost the trust of the people that money and lost their money. I think you will see people in other parts of the world experience that, experience bank failures. I think those will be the kind of people who are looking for something new, right? They're willing to take risk. A lot of us take the capacity to send money to others, to send money, small money, and do it electronically these days for granted. We are amongst the lucky 50% or so of the world that have bank accounts. But 2.5 billion adults do not have that. A technology like Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, has the capacity to bring those people to finances, to give them this power to effectively have what could argue the bank itself, really could open up commerce to a lot of people. Somebody who is working in one country and they want to send it back. Right now, my Western Union is remittances. From a Western Union perspective, we serve clients in many primarily for remittances. Western Union serves typically an unbanked customer who is either a migrant, worker, or a individual who doesn't feel comfortable in the financial services sector. And the problem with remittances is really expensive. I'm sending $100 back home. I may end up spending $5 or $10 just on fees, get that money back to my family. That's a huge percentage if you're poor and working. So since Bitcoin doesn't care about borders, Bitcoin, if my family in that other country has some way of spending that Bitcoin, it's a way of exchanging that Bitcoin into local currency. It's just cheaper. A lot of people think that remittances will be big excuses. The one challenge there is we deal with, our company, Southern 50 back 8 seconds, and those happen instantly. If you look at a blockchain, you have to wait for verification. You do a recent test, it takes about 15 minutes for every transaction to be validated by the network. That doesn't scale, so it has its challenges as well.
Which solicits the publisher's secrets and suppress material from whistleblowers around the world. It's been under cyber attack from governments that want to shut it down.
PayPal is the latest business to break ties with WikiLeaks, but the whistleblowing website dedicated to publishing classified government documents still continues to seek funding, while crossing out PayPal is one method of business.
In order to install our secret survivor, WikiLeaks is now forced to temporarily suspend all publishing operations in order to direct all our resources into fighting the blockade and raising funds.
WikiLeaks handles huge provide an opportunity. At the time, big banks and credit cards stopped processing payments with WikiLeaks, and some people thought that Bitcoin would provide a way to send donations. You can certainly see in the hubbub around WikiLeaks that Satoshi was still somebody who was very paranoid about the government, and the government coming in and taking too close a look at the Bitcoin process. And you could also see that Satoshi realized at this point that Bitcoin was still young software and it hadn't been worked out.
And I think late 2010, he asked me if it would be okay if he put my email address on it. Primary contact. I said sure. He went ahead and changed the web page. What he did is he left his name there, took away his email address. And so it was just me and my email address getting all the information. I think that was Satoshi's way of kind of saying there was one email where he told me that he was going to separate the project and something else. What else? And then we were using just anybody to get a copy of that. And I told Satoshi that I accepted the invitation.
After he sent that email to Satoshi telling him that he planned on the CIA, he never heard from him. And after the tension, you very quickly get caught up in the question of who is the Winnebago. Where did this come from? Who is this person? This is 2000 information capture. Everyone knows everything about everybody. How can it possibly be a person that nobody knows who this guy is? But there is a person, and he's a big person like the group, who nobody knows who this guy is. And he kind of appeared out of nowhere in 2008 on the photography email list, which is at this point. He's very active in the early years, a lot of back and forth between people.
It seemed like most people had to work off the grander team. Alvin, on the other hand, seemed to be really interested right in the beginning. The crypto was not as kind of cynical as other type of companies. So he got really into this, he started talking to people about photos who said seemed like something about that concern.
Alvin was the first guy to work with Nakamoto. He was a photographer. He was any discussion of Satoshi's identity has to go back. Bitcoin is based on a small number of projects back in the 1990s. Only a handful of people knew about, like Cash, Victor, and so you end up with a pretty small group of people who would have known about these projects.
Everybody was like, at one point or another, they said, well, he must be they all come out and denied it, like somebody who started out in California, somebody who's very, very good at their project, who understands it, and has done a wonderful job of just separating Bitcoin from anything that's happening.
I think for Bitcoin's sake, the continuing anonymity of Satoshi has ended up being a really good thing, because people who have gotten involved in it have been able to write their own ideas and read technology. And there was nobody there to say, no, that's not what I meant.
How far are we into the movie? Okay, so I will remember where we're at, unless anyone doesn't really want to continue on with the book. I mean, I'm learning something from it. I mean, but let's do it next week. I actually don't know what next week's topic is. My profile is not in my office, but I do need to upload the updated one. So when I go back to my office, I will update. I'll upload the updated syllabus. We'll finish this movie when we start off the class. We'll then talk about the news and then whatever the next topic is. Again, we might not use the topic very the first time I've ever delivered a whole lecture on Bitcoin, though, but I feel, again, just like last week, I feel like it needs to be this topic now. I agree with that. So, we're just going to continue to take it. The only thing we will do that will take up time will be quick instructions. You can create a PowerPoint if you want to, but it's uncreated, so you don't need to go like balls to the wall. Make some kind of presentation that you can be doing to introduce yourself. Again, I'll just kind of take some notes, but not too many notes. And then that'll kind of prep us for like 2 to 3 weeks later when we'll do our first kind of presentation, which can either be group or individual, but all those details, I'll start to work out those details in a bit. Okay, go off into the world. Buy some stickers. Stickers are big money. Stickers in Bitcoin. Stickers in Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto. Yeah, I have the shoes for you. It's all right. He said he regretted missing class. Yeah, he regretted it. And he, Satoshi Nakamoto. What are you doing? Was that you? Are you Satoshi? I don't think so. Satoshi. Stickers, huh? Big money, huh? Exactly. Yeah, and I knew her from when she started the business. And when she started it, she was just doing it all on Etsy, and Etsy was making all the money. Yeah, so she, although she's not dressing. I forgot about that. I got class tonight, so I'm just gonna go and do my hair tonight. Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, but hey, you know, my wife though is like 5'2", 5'1.5", 5'2", and our 5-year-old is almost 3/4 the height of my wife. So you know, genetically, you just never know how it'll work out. You know. You just don't know how it'll work out. Okay, let me stop this video and then we go downstairs. You don't know how it'll work out. You genetically, you just it's all a crapshoot. How tall is your mom? Are you really? That's right. You have what, size 13 shoes? 13. So you're taller than your mom. Are you taller than your dad? Dude, Bitcoin. I don't know if there's money to be made in it, but it seems sneakier than. I don't know. I learned a lot from. I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere close to it because it does seem really sneaky. But did you really? Why didn't you say something? You should have said something. I would have. I mean, I would have asked you a ton of questions about, like, here in Waikiki. What did you? What was it like? What, yeah. Did you pay it? Wait, so she paid the $100 or she? Why didn't you say? Eat the food? Yeah, see, that's the way to do it, right? You could have bought it with Bitcoin.
And then we like ran into her mom there.
Yeah. Yeah.
She didn't know her mom was
Yeah. So that's really cool. I'm not even sure. Wait, but you just didn't want to say anything in class, or you just didn't think about it? Who is? Me? Yeah, but I only paid attention to that because my wife, before, while she was in college, she made her money off of nails, so it trained me to be a nail-looking person. So that's the only reason why. Normally, I wouldn't notice someone's nails for that.